Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the WD Broadcasting Network. Tonight we are with the All-Star Sim Series for the first time here on the network for their final event of the season, race number 14 of 14. We've had 13 prior races to this that have led us up to this point, and tonight we will crown a champion. We've got 4 drivers going for that top spot. You see them on screen right there. Alex Papini, Anthony Donta, Michael Ostiek, and Tristan Swanson. Those are going to be the 4 to watch out for all night long. The 4 drivers going for the All-Star Sim Series Championship here tonight. These drivers are finishing up their practice. They've got about a minute left here, and we'll get qualifying underway. They've been practicing since about 7 o'clock Eastern. So there have been many laps put down. Actually, the most laps is Anthony Donta, one of the championship competitors, has almost ran tonight's full event here in practice. 283 laps that number 51 machine has completed. We'll see if it pays off later on. About a minute left. Right now, Trent Smith currently sits at the top of the standings here in practice. He has 1 victory this season that came back at the USA International Speedway on January 6th. But a couple, or actually all of your top 4 in points have seen at least 1 trip to victory lane this year. The most is Anthony Donta with 2. His last win coming back at the South Boston Speedway. As we finish up practice, these guys are getting their drivers meeting underway. Let's look at some of the information for tonight's race here at the Five Flags Speedway. We're going to have 300 laps of action later on. So a very long event here this evening. 129 degrees trackside on track. 87-degree air temp, so not too hot, but that track is going to be very hot and very slick. We're going to have to keep an eye on that throughout the course of the event. Half mile at the Five Flags Speedway, very famous track in real life and iRacing. So we'll see what it has in store for us here tonight. And qualifying is underway. We'll see who is able to qualify inside of the top 10. That's going to be the money here tonight. The invert is a 10. And on track right now, the first of our championship 4 competitors. Number 39 machine heading down the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4. This is Alex Papini. Papini going for the title here later on this evening. He'll have to start at the rear. All 4 of your title competitors going to the rear of tonight's starting grid. But Papini, first lap time, a 17:48. That's good enough for fast time. So Papini going to shut it down after that first lap in turns 3 and 4. He's going to call it good on lap number 2. Eric White comes around on his second lap. He'll go 3rd quick in the number 6 machine. This is Randy Sargent in the number 11. He'll come around to see the checkered flag, his second lap time. Put him 4th quick in the number 11 machine. As we'll try to get that timing and scoring screen reloaded. There we go. 10 drivers so far have taken time. Next up on the racetrack. Thought about going on the racetrack. That is your second Championship 4 competitor here tonight. Tristan Swanson in the 91 machine. We'll see if he brings that car out on track. It looks like he does. The 91 pulls out. We'll see what he can do. Swanson with one victory this season. Back in November of 2024 at the Oswego Speedway, he went to victory lane. After 130 laps, it was all Tristan Swanson's. We'll see what he can do in qualifying for the season finale. As he heads down the back straightaway. These late model stocks can be a lot of fun here at the South Boston Speedway. Swanson comes around, first lap time good enough for 8th quick. A 17:56 for Swanson. Through turns 3 and 4, he'll try that second lap. Second lap time for Swanson. A little bit quicker, move him up to 7th quick with a 17:55. Swanson going to sit in that 7th spot for now. Now on the racetrack, the number 109 machine here tonight. The Twisted T, number 109. That's Scotty Gardner. Gardner down the back straightaway, currently working his first lap. Through turns 3 and 4, you'll see the white flag right here. One more time around for Gardner. First lap time, a 17:56, good enough for 8th quick. In the 109, a little loose right there on the back straightaway. We'll see if he picks it up here through turns 3 and 4. Checkered flag for Scotty Gardner as we've got a new fast qualifier. Trent Smith going to the top of the board here late in qualifying. And he will take that top spot away from Alex Papini. A 17:47 for Trent Smith there. And that's good enough for quick time right now. We still have 2 drivers left to qualify. Total of 25 cars here tonight. And things are beginning to heat up here at the Five Flags Speedway. Final drivers meeting underway for these drivers. We've got 25 cars here for 300 laps. Your Championship 4 are going to be going to the back, and it's a winner-take-all format. So whoever finishes the best out of those 4 is going to be your All-Star Sim Series champion. So this is going to be a very exciting one. I'm curious to see how quickly those guys are able to work their way through the field. Obviously, a lot of speed from all 4 competitors, everybody inside the top 10 here tonight, with the exception of that number 18 machine. Michael Ostiek qualified in that 13th spot, so he'll have a little bit more ground to make up, starting 4th out of the 4. But Alex Papini and Anthony Danta right there in the 51, 2nd and 3rd. They're going to have a lot of speed. Like I said, very curious to see how quickly they can move through the field, because here at Five Flags, it's a little bit tricky to pass, especially in that late model stock. You can find yourself side by side with a guy for, 10, 15 laps. So we'll see how quickly they're able to put this field down. As we wait for the drivers' meeting to finish up, we'll take a look at the point standings one more time. A couple guys back behind still having a pretty good battle. Scotty Gardner, Eric White, they're pretty close there. Jeremy Bingham right there as well. Well, we'll look at last week's results as Joseph Troya was able to pick up the victory at North Wilkesboro. 200 laps that event was. Troya ended up leading 155. There were 5 cautions for 20 laps. The best of your championship 4 last week was Alex Papini. Started in the 12th spot, ended up finishing 3rd in the 39. Michael Ostiek was 7th, Tristan Swanson was 8th, and Anthony Danta was 11th. So there's the momentum going into this final race of the season. Your most recent winner out of those top 4 drivers would be Alex Papini, who went to victory lane at the Hickory Motor Speedway a couple weeks back. We do have an invert here tonight. And our starting lineup will look like this. The 43 machine of Robert Addington going to end up on the pole here tonight. All 4 of your championship competitors ended up qualifying inside of the invert. So we're going to have a big invert here tonight, and it will be 14. And that'll put Rob Addington on the pole in the 43 machine. To his outside, it's going to be the number 17 of Corey Rogers. Starting 3rd, DJ Smith in the 08. To his outside, it'll be the 11 of Randy Sargent. The 109 of Scotty Gardner will roll off 5th. To his outside, it's going to be the 98 machine of Blake Notstead. 7th spot going to be Eric White in the 106. To his outside, it'll be the number 1 of Brett McCoy. Starting in the 9th spot, it's going to be the number 4 of Nick Shoemaker. And to his outside, the number 3, your fast qualifier, Trent Smith. So the invert ended up being a 10. A couple of the guys in the top 10 have to go to the back for that championship provisional. So your championship 4 going to the rear. The rest of the field going to invert a 10. For some reason, the championship not going off. There we go. Now we've got it. We've got a 10-minute warm-up session here. See if we can't try to grab somebody from a Discord here. Try to grab a word from some of our drivers down in the chat below. And while these drivers get their warm-up session underway, we're going to take a quick step away here on the WD Broadcasting Network. We'll be right back in just a moment to begin our coverage, the All-Star Sim Series season finale here at the Five Flags Speedway. We'll be right back in just a moment.
Masker can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force it off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Trish on the bottom.
Bouchard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh my
and to
goodness.
the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Alrighty, folks, we are back here on the WD Broadcasting Network, ready to get things underway here at the Five Flags Speedway. We've got about 5 minutes left here in our warm-up session before we get things kicked off for 150 laps here at the Five Flags Speedway. Or, sorry, 300 laps at the Five Flags Speedway. Tried to divide the race in 2 there. And that's what these drivers might do when it comes to strategy here tonight. Right now, Eric White currently fastest in practice. These drivers are on a fixed setup, so not much they can change setup-wise. Couple drivers just listening into the voice chat here. A couple drivers requesting what we call an EOL here on iRacing. It's an end-of-line penalty. Kind of just sets you to the back, and here at this 300-lap race, a couple of these drivers wanting to go to the rear for the beginning, just so they can get settled in, find their rhythm. Scotty Gardner in the number 109 machine here tonight. Currently sitting in the 5th spot in points. Just barely missed out on that championship 4. Looks like everybody beginning to move their cars pit side. Michael Ostick in the number 18 machine. Qualified 4th out of the championship 4 competitors, but they're all going to be starting from the rear here today. And it's a 300 lap race. I'm sure Michael's not too worried about that qualifying run. Still qualified 13th out of 25 cars. But the other 3 that he is competing against for the championship were able to qualify ahead of him. Brett McCoy up in front of him in the 1 machine. Going to be starting towards the front here tonight after that redraw. We'll have to wait till we get down trackside for the start of the race, as we have a lot of shuffling around that's going to happen before we get to see that official starting grid for the All-Star Sim Series finale here. As these drivers continue to get those final preparations made. There's Tristan Swanson right there in the 91, getting that car shaken down, seeing what else he needs to do to maximize his performance here tonight. Steve Wright up in front of them. Comes into this evening with limited starts here this season. Steve with 4 starts this season in that 61 machine. See what he's able to do here. We are under a minute left on our warm-up session. Everybody getting those final couple laps in. Anthony Donta definitely going to be ready for tonight's race. He's done 28 laps here in the warm-up. And if you can count on anybody to have a very good long-run car this race, it might be that 51. As he ran, what I say earlier, nearly 300 laps in practice earlier on. He's got 30 here in the warm-up. That 51 is definitely going to be prepared for tonight's race. We're going to have to keep an eye on them all night long. Really, all of your 4 championship competitors, they're all going to be starting out back, so they're all going to be even from the beginning. Everybody's got 2,200 points. Whoever is able to finish ahead at the end is going to be your 2024-2025 Winter Series champion for the All-Star Sim Series. As the drivers begin to head down trackside, we will take a look at our starting lineup, but it will not be our official starting lineup once we have it all said and done. But your qualifying results essentially up on screen. Trent Smith in the number 3 machine set to start on that top, or on the pole here tonight. Your fast qualifier, Alex Papini 2nd, Anthony Donta 3rd, Nick Shoemaker 4th, Brett McCoy 5th, Eric White 6th, Blake Notstead 7th, Tristan Swanson 8th, Scotty Gardner 9th, Randy Sargent 10th, DJ Smith 11th, Corey Rogers 12th. Back behind him, Michael Ostiek 13th, Robert Addington 14th, Josh Nelms 15th, Daniel Calhoun 16th, Kenny Storkson 17th, 18th is going to be Ed Papineau, Ryan Smith will start 19th, Jared Sutherland in the 20th spot, Scott Kingswan 21st, Kurt Cleveland 22nd, and back behind them, rounding out our starting field, is going to be Steve Wright, Dan Janjanin, and Austin Demore. As we look at our starting field right there, not in order just yet, but our starting field ready to go. 300 laps of action. Folks, if you're watching down in the chat below, you're watching a driver here in the session We want to know who it is, who you're cheering for. So we can keep track all race long. And you see the rubber on the racetrack right there. iRacing released a update, and they released an update recently involving the rubber on the racetrack and the rubber buildup, and you can see that in effect here tonight. Nearly 2 hours of practice, and a lot of marbles have been built up already. So these drivers going to get reassembled here behind the iRacing.com pace car. A couple different drivers going to have to move through to go to the front. And we will see who that eventually hands our points lead to, or sorry, race lead to. Looks like the 08 machine of DJ Smith is going to be our race leader when they go through turns 3 and 4. They're heading down the back straightaway now. And the field has been given the 1 to go signal. We are getting ready to send the field through turns 3 and 4. The pace car is off. We are waiting for the drop of the green. The green is up. The green is out. We are underway here at Five Flags. Through turns 1 and 2, they go for the first time. It's going to be DJ Smith down low, Randy Sargent up top. 2 by 2 for the first time through turns 3 and 4. Leader of lap number 1. Give it to DJ Smith in the 08 machine. Smith takes the early race lead. Up the track goes Randy Sargent in the 11 machine. He's battling with Scotty Gardner. Gardner down low looking for the lead into turns 3 and 4. Gardner down low, Smith up top trying to take the race lead here early on. 3 laps in at Five Flags, and we've got a battle up front. Through turns 1 and 2, Gardner with the advantage down low. We'll give it to him by about a half a car length into turns 3 and 4. It looks like Gardner will take the lead out front. New leader on lap number 4. Behind him for second, Randy Sargent, your pole sitter, trying to take that top spot back. He'll move to second. Eric White going to follow through to third as well. Out back, our points, or our championship 4 moving forward here early. Michael Oste in the number 18 machine. Already up to that 14th spot. He's got Tristan Swanson and Alex Papini right there on his back bumper. So all of your championship drivers right there in a line. Looks like Swanson going to move to the bottom side. They will take the lead. Anthony Donta back behind. Not getting the jump on these guys just yet. We are only 6 laps in. A long, long way to go here. Up front, Brett McCoy down on the bottom. Looks like he was allowing that number 4 machine of Daniel Calhoun to get to the outside. McCoy will move back to that 8th spot. Let's work up front and down the back straightaway. Your race leader, Scotty Gardner, continuing to show the way. The rest of your field, it's mostly single file out back behind. Eric White battling with the number 4, Nick Schumacher, and up front ahead of him, Blake Knotshead to the inside in the 23. Knotshead trying to get to that top spot. He'll look underneath Scotty Gardner here at a turns 3 and 4. Challenge for the race lead into turns 1 and 2. Looks like Gardner going to be able to hold off on the outside lane. But Knotshead right there in the 23 machine. Definitely looks pretty sporty here early on. He's out of turns 3 and 4 that time. He thinks about taking another peek to the bottom, but Gardner going to hold that lane. And Gardner up the racetrack. Looks like he's going to allow that 23 machine to go by. And around goes the 08 of DJ Smith as well. Gardner not liking something that he's seeing up here in this top group. Going to back it off. These drivers only given 2 sets of tires in the pit. So they've got this set that they're on and then 2 more throughout this race. You do not want to burn up the tires here early. You look a little bit further back. Final spot in the top 10 is Josh Nelms right now. Nelms holding that final spot. Out back, this is the battle for 19th. Robert Addington, who drew the invert, or drew the pole with the invert, elected to start from the rear, battling with Kirk Cleveland in the 151. They continue to battle here on lap number 15. We've got a couple lead changes so far, as we see Anthony Danta get out in front of Kenny Storkson in the 54. Here is your top 4 all in a row. Anthony Danta's caught this group. Back up front, Blake Notstad, your leader, going to have some pressure here from DJ Smith. Smith going to the bottom. He wants that race lead back. He was your leader on lap number 1. He'll go back out front on lap 18. Move DJ Smith back to that front spot. And Scotty Gardner is way fallen off of those top 3 cars. Gardner back to the 4th spot, about a second behind Blake Notstad. A lot of different strategies going to be played, especially with the green flag laps that we're seeing right now. Coming around to lap number 20. So you got to think 300 laps, you got 3 sets of tires in total. You want to split them about 100 laps even. But we might see some strategy come into play when it comes to things like track position and how many laps are left in the race. It'll be an interesting thing to keep track of all race long. Smith out front holding that race lead. Back behind him, Tristan Swanson underneath Ryan Smith in the 50. That's the battle right there for the 13th spot. Looks like Swanson going to be able to get by. Alex Papini going to follow suit as well. That's one thing about 5 flags, that it can be pretty tough to get back to the bottom. You see the 50th Smith was up on the outside lane there, on the outside of Tristan Swanson, and now going backwards in a hurry. Lost 4 spots right there. And it's about to be 5 as the 54 of Kenny Storkson approaches the back bumper. And the yellow flag is out for the first time. Robert Addington in the 43 machine pointed the wrong direction in the exit of turn 4. He gets it back going. He's going to lose a lap to your race leader, but I think everybody going to be able to continue. He was battling with the 55 of Scott Kingswan right there. It looked like he just got a little bit loose down on the bottom side of the racetrack, up on the exit of turns 3 and 4. Let's see if we can't get another angle at that one. Here is the look. 54 down on the bottom side, just got down a little bit too far on the flat. Kind of lost the nose of the race car, and up the track he went. Big miss there by Steve Wright. He did a good job. And we have got pit stops already here. Drivers heading pit side. Likely fuel only stops at this point in the race. Just trying to set yourself up for a pit stop. late in this one. Alex Papini, that second pit stall. Gonna get out. Actually, he'll gain some track position there on pit road. So it looked like just a splash of fuel for a couple drivers. Your top 8 going to stay out under this caution flag. And when we come back this time, something I haven't done in quite some time here on the WD Broadcasting Network, we're gonna announce the choose cone. So the driver is going to choose this time out of turns 3 and 4. Unfortunately, there is no real iRacing choose cone, so nobody's running out across the racetrack, but we'll see where these drivers go. Looks like a couple drivers going to go high, a couple drivers going to go low. Looks like all of your Championship 4 competitors electing to choose that inside lane. So we'll see if that benefits them. As the pace car drops to the bottom side of the racetrack, through the restart zone we go. And we are back underway here at Five Flags. Through turns 1 and 2, DJ Smith going to hang on to the race lead as they work down into turns 3 and 4. Smith, your leader. Look at Tristan Swanson right there in the 91 machine. He's moving up forward. Your first Championship 4 competitor to move his way up into the top 3, Tristan Swanson, out in front of him right now. He elected to keep that 91 machine out on the racetrack and put some separation between him and his fellow Championship 4 competitors. Is back out behind. It's a hornet's nest for 2 of our competitors, Michael Ostiek and Anthony Donta, currently fighting outside in the 15th spot. Ostiek underneath Trent Smith right there, trying to take that spot away. Donta going to try to follow suit. Front, Blake Notstead to the inside of Tristan Swanson. He'll take that spot away. A lot of give here early on in this Five Flags 300. Drivers very courteous of one another. I've heard a couple drivers over voice chat let other drivers take that position. I wonder at what point that begins to go away. At what point in this race do the giving positions go away? Is it lap 100? Is it lap 200? When do these guys begin to turn the dial up? Back behind right here, Kurt Cleveland underneath Daniel Calhoun for the 7th spot. Looks like he'll take that spot away. We look a little bit further back. Anthony Donta able to get around Randy Sargent. Sargent up on the outside lane in the 11. Trying to work around Kenny Storkson in the 54. Ooh, nearly contact there. Randy Sargent in the 11 machine had a close moment there on the back straightaway, or sorry, in the front straightaway. I think there was contact with the 61 of Steve Wright. Everybody able to keep it in the right direction, but that was definitely a close call up off the corner. Up front, Kurt Cleveland underneath Tristan Swanson. Couple drivers moving forward. Ed Papineau in the 01 machine. He's up inside of the top 3, moved him to 3rd. Ryan Smith back behind him as well. Just shy of that lap 50 mark. Scotty Gardner in the 109. Everybody back behind going to follow suit. That top lane very, very poor here early on. You do not want to be up in the outside lane. And we'll see if that begins to change here later on, as these guys put more and more rubber on that bottom lane. Steve Wright taking a peek underneath Eric White and trying to get Scotty Gardner as well, the 2-for-1 for the 61 right there. Looks like we will make that pass work up front. We've got a battle brewing for the race lead. Your race leaders have gotten out to about 6 seconds over Ed Papineau. DJ Smith, Nick Schumacher right now battling for that top spot. Looks like Schumacher gonna go to the lead. Smith right there in second. Then it is 6 whole seconds back to Ed Papineau in that 0-1 machine. Your leaders opened up a gap, and they opened it up very fast. The lap times fairly different throughout the field. We'll take a look at them that last time around, but everybody kind of at their own little spot in the race. Everybody at their own little pace. Some drivers in the 18.5, some drivers in the 18.1s. Very different throughout the field. Everybody's still on that same set of tires, I do believe. I don't think anybody came down to get tires that last pit stop. Steve Wright, the number 61, starting to move his way forward underneath Anthony Donta there. He'll take away the 11th spot. And 2 of your championship competitors side by side here. Michael Ostiek underneath Alex Papini into turns 3 and 4. Papini up on the outside, gonna allow Ostiek to take that position for now. And up in front of them, Tristan Swanson, your current leader in the point standings. In the championship for, I should say. It's Kenny Storkson moves around the 61 of Steve Wright. Ooh, there's contact there. They both went up the racetrack. I think they were both able to keep it off the wall, but nearly up into the outside wall they went. Brett McCoy on the inside of Randy Sargent. Sargent in the 11 machine having a tough time getting back to the bottom. Currently scored in the 20th spot. We still have all 23 cars on the lead lap. 52 laps in, up in front of this group. Kenny Storkson underneath Daniel Calhoun. 4 car up the racetrack. Here comes Tristan Swanson. Or sorry, Michael Ostiek to the inside of Tristan Swanson. Swanson in the 91 did not come down pit road for that splash of fuel. And oh, here comes Papini in the 39, looking inside 3 wide. Looks like Ostiek going to be able to come out on top, but Papini there thought about making it 3 wide entering turns 3 and 4, thought better of it on the entry. This time by, we work lap number 55. Your race leader, Nick Schumacher, out by about 2 seconds right now, and he has caught the back of this pack. Ooh, problems for the 54 of Kenny Storkson. Way off the pace on the bottom side. He got up off the racetrack. Not sure how, but 54 definitely lost a lot of ground there. Nick Schumacher right there in the 4 machine, and he has got a huge pack up ahead of him. Go on board with the 4. He had clean right racetrack, and now he has this. a lot of traffic to navigate for the number 4 of Nick Shoemaker. It looks like he will take the first one. That is 55 of Scott Kingswan. Robert Addington right there as well. These drivers don't want to go a lap down, and especially not your championship 4. Look how far back Nick Schumacher is from your championship 4. He's not that far behind. Ford Machine definitely wants to put as many of these guys a lap down as he can. The more that he can put down a lap, the better this will be for him later in the race. As this time by, we are 60 laps in, 240 laps to go at the Five Flags Speedway. For those of you keeping math back at home, we're 61 laps in. It's about 34 minutes in from the drop of the green. Here comes Corey Rogers underneath Steve Wright. Tristan Swanson right there as well, trying to take that spot away. And we definitely have seen a lot of shuffling around as far as position goes. Nobody's really stayed where they are. We've seen a lot of drivers coming and going throughout the courses of even these little 20-lap runs. As Nick Schumacher continues to close in on this lead group, starts to kind of lose a little bit of that speed that he had initially when he drove up to this pack, but still with all those drivers right there, it's not going to take too long for this number 4 machine to start really cutting into this field. In front of him, Scotty Gardner to the inside of Steve Wright. So it looks like Wright kind of got hung up on that outside lane. And I don't know if I've seen the outside lane this poor here at the Five Flags Speedway. Usually you can use that outside lane to your advantage, but it might be a little bit more difficult here in the late model stock. They don't quite have as much power as the super late model that I'm used to running. Championship 4 continue to battle all right there in a row. Anthony Danta currently out front in the 51 in that group. Is your race leader, number 4 of Nick Schumacher, up on the outside lane, currently on the outside of Jarrett Sutherland, trying to get his lap back. As you see the 4 really use that outside lane, he's able to get a good run and propel himself up off the corner. Schumacher continuing to put cars one lap down. Ryan Smith still 7.5 seconds back in the 50 machine. And then it's another 2 seconds to Kurt Cleven. Schumacher well in front of this field. He's got 3 cars one lap down. Steve Wright looking to be the next car to go a lap down. And DJ Smith in the 80 machine down pit road, in the 08 machine down pit road. Trouble for the 08 machine. Was running in the third spot. Was running in the second spot. It looks like he's going to get tires on that race car. A green flag pit stop for number 8 of DJ Smith. So we watch the battle right there for the 7th spot. Corey Rogers on the outside lane, able to get around Alex Papini, and look at that on the outside lane, able to get around Michael Ostiek as well. As he saved some tires here. Or what? He had a lot of speed back behind your championship 4. As your race leader continues to try and put cars a lap down. He's right there behind that big pack of cars. About 6th place on back, all right there in a line, and it ends with your race leader. So a couple of the guys at the front of this line have kind of got to start putting themselves in a spot where they got to move forward because that race leader is coming. So championship 4 all right there in a line. Looks almost like the thumbnail picture. Everybody bunched up, battling for that championship. Obviously, the battle hasn't quite started yet. We still got to wait till we're about 250 before we can really start judging how this battle is going. But here early, these guys have all kept each other very close this whole race throughout all 78 laps. I think the most cars we saw in between one another was when Tristan Swanson ended up staying out. That first caution flag. Other than that, these 4 have all been grouped up in a bunch right there. So it's surely going to be exciting all night long. Michael Ostick to the inside. He gets that spot. With Notstad in the 23 on the outside lane. It looks like when you get up on that outside lane, you don't have fresh tires. It almost looks like you throw an anchor out the back of your car. As you see the 23 and Notstad moving to the back of this line. Your race leader, Nick Schumacher, starting to lose a little bit of the pace that he had earlier on. Ryan Smith in the number 50 machine, starting to work his way back forward. So the tires might have started to expire for the 4 machine of Nick Schumacher. Still your race leader, but starting to lose some of that gap that he had built up. Here comes Alex Papini to the inside of Anthony Donta. Thought about it right there. Didn't quite have enough to make that run work. I'll try again to regroup and reset up that pass. And that's one of the things that I really like about these late model stocks. You really have to set up the pass. You can't just dive it underneath somebody and make it work up off the corner. You really got to set up the pass and get the run underneath them. There's an extra art when it comes to passing in these late model stocks. As we have been green for quite some time. We last saw the caution back on lap 27, it looks like, 26, sorry, was our last caution flag. So we have been green for quite some time. You gotta wonder when the fuel is going to start to be an issue. We're only 86 laps into this one. But fuel definitely going to be an issue as we work closer to that lap 130, 140 mark. I don't know the exact number of miles that these guys get on a fuel tank here in the late model stock. Another driver down pit road there, Robert Addington in the 43, the second driver that we've seen come down pit road under this green flag condition. Unfortunately, DJ Smith in the 08, I believe, might be calling it a night. Right side's going up on the 43 of Robert Addington as well. And your race leader really starting to lose some of that pace. Ryan Smith in the 50 back behind him, just about a 10th quicker. We've got 20 cars on the lead lap at this point. A couple of those drivers that went one lap down were able to get their spot back, or get that lap back, I should say. Schumacher in the 4 fell off a little bit on lap time, and now your second place spot, Ryan Smith, starting to close that gap up. As we continue to watch this battle for the championship, we're closing in on the lap 100 mark, and that puts us a third of the way into this one. And as we get to this lap 100 mark, I don't know if you guys are able to tell as much as I am at home, but it looks like there might be a little bit of fog rolling in to the Five Flags Speedway, and that's going to cool the track temp off. We'll look at the weather right now and see if that track temp has cooled off a little bit. Looks like it has slightly. 129 instead of the... Apologize, I was looking at the wrong number. 130 degree track temp. So it actually has heated up a little bit from when we saw it earlier on in the race. But your field currently green. 90 laps in, Nick Schumacher, your race leader. Bringing it pit side is the number 4 machine. Actually, a couple drivers coming down pit road. Scott Kingswan up in front of him. And your race leader brings it pit side here on lap 95 of 300. Ryan Smith in the 50 machine will inherit the race lead. 151 of Kurt Cleveland. Tough break there. On the outside lane, it looks like he's off the pace. He was running in the 3rd spot. It looks like the 151 slowing it down. He's going to bring it down pit side. Nick Schumacher able to get it out of the pits. Ed Papineau going to go to the race lead as Ryan Smith is going to bring his machine pit side. And it looks like green flag pit stops might be starting to unfold. We've got a couple cars that have brought him down pit road. Ryan Smith is going to be the next of them as he brings it down pit road as well. And Ed Papineau is going to be your race leader. And if I were to guess, a couple of these drivers that have came down pit road in these past couple laps might have gotten a tire warning. Yes, in iRacing, you actually can blow a tire. Believe me, I have done it at the Bristol Speedway in this late model stock car. It's not fun. But a couple of these drivers might have started to get a little bit too much wear on that right front tire. And the spotter's telling them to bring the car to pit road. And I can assure you that when you have blown that tire, once you have fully used it too much, you can tell. And these drivers will be able to know that they've blown that tire. Like Notstad, bringing it down pit road as well. So we watch your top 4 in the championship, still right there in a line behind your race leader, Ed Papineau. Papineau into turns 3 and 4. We are past the lap 100 mark. Still have 15 cars on the lead lap. Jarrett Sutherland in the 19 about to go 1 lap down. So we've got a couple cars in different points in strategy, different points on the racetrack as well. And we're still watching that battle for the championship. Anthony Danta currently leads in the 51, but he's got Alex Papini and Tristan Swanson not too far back behind. You can't forget about that 18 of Michael Ostick as well. Looks like Blake Notstad able to get that machine back out of the pits. Jarrett Sutherland has his number 19 on pit road. It looks like when you pit, depending on where you're at on the racetrack, you're going to lose one, or you're going to lose 2, maybe 3 laps. I'm sure a lot of these guys up front waiting for a caution flag if we're to get one, trying to make that fuel tank last as long as they can. And remember, a lot of these guys actually ended up coming down pit road on lap 25, so they're going to have even more fuel. But will they want tires first? That's going to be the question. We'll have to find out here, as here comes Tristan Swanson to the inside of Alex Papini for 4th. Moves Swanson in the 91 up to the 4th spot. Papini in the 39, starting to fall off a little bit there. That last lap in 1867 compared to Swanson's 32. So Papini might be starting to experience a little bit of tire wear. So we are now 110 laps into this one, the battle for the race lead. Into turns 3 and 4. Here comes Corey Rogers to the bottom. Rogers down low. Papineau in the 01, your race leader, up into the outside wall. He's back to the 5th spot, making it 6th, as Michael Ostiek able to get by there in the 18. And that 01 machine, you can definitely tell the tires have gone away. Back to the 8th spot on that outside lane. So we've got Corey Smith up in front of your race leader. Smith looks like he's going down a lap. The 17 of Corey Rogers continues to show the way. You've got Anthony Danta in the 51 right there on his back bumper for 2nd. Wouldn't that be something if Anthony Danta could return to victory lane for the first time since the bull ring on New Year's Eve, or sorry, the day before New Year's Eve. Wouldn't it be something if that 51 machine could return victory lane and win the championship all in the same time? He battles with Corey Rogers for the lead right now. He took a peek underneath, but Rogers was able to cross him back and get that spot back. As they continue to battle hard for that race lead. Top 9 or so right there in a line. We have 12 cars left on the lead lap, as we've got a couple cars obviously have to come down pit road during this long green flag run we've had. It's nearing 100 laps that we've been green. So if you've been mean to those tires in any regard, you're definitely starting to feel it now. Lap 118 in the books. Corey Rogers continuing to hold the race lead. Anthony Danta in the 2nd spot. Thought he might have been able to get around that 17 when he took that peek to the inside, but Rogers was able to make the crossover move work. As here's the move once again to the inside. Goes Anthony Danta. It looks like he'll take that spot. Is Rogers going to be able to cross over? Looks like no. New race leader on lap 121. Give it to Anthony Danta. Rogers going to be able to get clear. Back down in front of Tristan Swanson. So we have 180 laps to go. Danta takes the lead. Tristan Swanson Gonna move underneath Corey Rogers. That's the battle for second. Alex Papini gonna try to follow suit as well. Danta continues to hold the race lead. He's got lap traffic all over in front of him. That's the 11 machine of Randy Sargent on the bottom. Here comes Tristan Swanson in the 91 to the race lead. He goes. Alex Papini going to try to follow suit there as well. It looks like Papini going to move up into the second spot. That's the highest he's ran here this evening. But race leader Tristan Swanson trying to open up a gap here with Alex Papini back behind. Swanson in the 91 starting to open up his gap. This is the biggest gap we've seen in quite some time. He's moved up the racetrack a little bit too, something we haven't seen so far tonight. 91 starting to run that middle lane in turns 3 and 4. Logan Drumheller down in the chat. Yeah, the fog is very heavy. I'm having a troubled time seeing it as well. I was wanting to use the following camera that we have right here, but obviously visibility is starting to get pretty slim here at the Five Flags Speedway. As Corey Rogers brings his machine pit side in at the number 17. Rogers in the 17, bringing it pit side. Gonna go down a lap, but now that leaves us with 8 cars on the lead lap. Your top 8 now hold the lead lap positions as we are 131 laps in out of 300. Swanson through turns 3 and 4. He's got 3 lap cars up in front of him. Steve right there in the 61 going to move up to the top side, and he'll allow your race leader to pass through smoothly. Swanson still using that outside lane in turns 3 and 4. 1 and 2, he's still committing to that bottom lane. You can definitely tell that he's opening up that entry a little bit, though. Not quite turning down to that inside wall like we saw earlier on. And Swanson continuing to open up that gap. 1.4 seconds at the line. And we've got to wonder when your race leaders are going to make that move down to pit road. Swanson has not made a pit stop yet this race. The only driver left on track without a pit stop, and you got to think the fuel gauge is starting to get closer and closer to the empty signal. Swanson going to be running out of laps here shortly. We've got 137 laps in. I don't know how many they've got on fuel, and there it is, the 91 down to pit road here on lap 137. That'll hand the lead over to Alex Papini in the 39. Papini going to assume the race lead here on lap 138 for the first time today. Anthony Danta currently sitting in the second spot. Trent Smith back behind him for third. Smith's closing the gap. He's a little bit quicker than your front two. And he'll move by. Give the second spot to Trent Smith here on lap 140 of 300. Back behind the rest of your top five, starting to bring it down pit road. Eric White to the inside in the number 6. Brett McCoy also down pit road in the 1. Right side tires only for the 1 machine. Eric White on pit road. The race leader Alex Papini comes around to put him 1 lap down. And that leaves us with 4 drivers left on the lead lap. We'll see if Alex Papini, Trent Smith, Michael Ostiek, and Anthony Danta, we'll see if they can get a caution flag before they have to come down and make that pit stop. And Papini in the 39 machine well off the pace in turns 3 and 4. That'll hand the lead over to Trent Smith. So another new leader here on lap 143. Trent Smith going to go through to the lead. Papini going to hang on to the second spot for now. Ostiek third. Danta fourth. And Danta in the 51 going to bring it down pit road. Your second championship 4 competitor. Ready to go down pit road. So the second of 4 championship drivers making their pit stop. Anthony Danta down pit road, led some laps here a little while ago. And he decides it is time to bring that 51 machine pit side, and that makes me think that your front 3 have got to be getting close here, either on fuel or on tires. We're nearing the halfway point in this one. They haven't used a set of tires yet. So you gotta wonder when that is going to happen. Into turns 3 and 4, Michael Ostiek able to get around Alex Papini. That'll move him up into the second spot. Papini right there running in the third spot. A couple cars back behind have started to catch this lead group. But it's not for position, unfortunately. So we have 3 cars left on the lead lap. So we are just shy of the halfway point. Trent Smith, your leader. Michael Ostiek back behind. And Alex Papini, they're a couple tenths of a second quicker than Trent Smith here on that previous lap. Papini in the 39 up the racetrack. He's going to let this other group of traffic go, led by Scotty Gardner there in the 109. Gardner going to shoot to the inside of Michael Ostiek there. He'll try to take his first lap back. Gardner scored in the 9th spot right now. Looks like he'll get that second lap back. So 1 lap down for Gardner. And the battle for the race lead on screen. Corey Rogers right there in the 17 machine. He looks pretty sporty here. He's only 1 lap down in the 4th spot, so he's trying to get back on the lead lap here. Rogers in the 17 looks underneath Trent Smith, and it looks like he'll make that move. So move Corey Rogers back on the lead lap here on lap 153. Trent Smith and Michael Ostiek continue to battle. Ostiek going to go through to the race lead in turns 3 and 4. Papini has lost a little bit of ground in the 39. As these drivers continue to try and push out this fuel run as long as they can. They want to catch that lucky caution flag right here because likely, if they get that caution flag, a lot of drivers going to come down pit road behind them, so they'll keep a lot of these guys one lap down, but ...155 laps in, I definitely expected to see the front drivers pit, and as I say that, Michael Ostiek in the 18 machine brings it down pit road, giving the lead back to Trent Smith. Trent Smith going to once again inherit the race lead. Michael Ostiek decided it is time to bring it down pit road. Trent Smith and Alex Papini, the only two drivers that have not come down pit road to get that second, or to get that set of tires, I should say. And Michael Ostiek going to come out of the pits a little bit back behind the other two championship competitors that pitted earlier on prior to this. Right now, Tristan Swanson leads Anthony Donta. As Trent Smith, Alex Papini continue to push this run out, 159 laps into the books. Into turns 3 and 4 once again. Trent Smith, he's got a mirror full of Alex Papini. So we have 160 laps into the books, 140 to go. And as we are past that halfway point, the laps are going to start to tick away quickly here. You want to put yourself in a good spot for the end of this one. Your top two definitely have a pit stop to make still, and look at the time that Corey Rogers has been able to make up. Remember a couple laps ago when he was passing your race leaders? Yeah, look at him now. All the way about 6 seconds in front of your race leaders. Really starting to put some good time in here. Really starting to put in some good time is the number 17 of Corey Rogers. And there it is, the number 39 of Alex Papini and Trent Smith, both drivers bringing it pit side. Papini down pit road in the 39. He'll bring that car pit side, the same for Trent Smith. And that will hand the lead over to Corey Rogers in the number 17. Rogers in the 17, going to go through to the race lead. Nick Schumacher back behind him is in second. Tristan Swanson third. Anthony Donta fourth. And Alex Papini, Trent Smith finally going to get those cars back out of the pits, and they will lose a lap. Rogers in the 17, able to get out in front of them. So they will be one lap down. The strategy very, very different now for the 39 of Papini and the 3 of Trent Smith. They're going to have to drive back through and try to pass that 17 of Corey Rogers as he moves up the racetrack. Eric White in the 106, going to get that lap back. And he'll be back on the lead lap. We've got 8 cars now on the lead lap here, with just under 140 laps to go. Alex Papini in the 39 just set his fastest lap of the race, a 17:93 to an 18:45 for Corey Rogers. We'll put the last time around their lap times. Very fluctuating, or it is very different throughout the field. It fluctuates quite a bit when you get through the top 10. Fastest car on the racetrack right now looks like it's the 39 of Alex Papini, as he is on a mission to try to get back to the bumper, the number 4 of Nick Schumacher. And the 17 of Corey Rogers, he needs to be back up on that lead lap if he wants a shot at the title. Heading into last week, Anthony Danta was your points leader before we reset them for the championship 4. Danta currently sitting in the 5th spot on the lead lap behind Michael Ostiek for the 4th spot. Tristan Swanson up in front of him, the other guy that they're battling for the championship. He currently leads. He's in the 3rd spot on track. He's only about 2 seconds ahead of Michael Ostiek right now at this point. As Alex Papini moves underneath Eric White right there. Move Papini to the 8th spot. And he's now got to try and get that 17 of Corey Rogers back behind him. Papini definitely looks to have a little bit more speed, but is it going to be enough? Here he comes to the inside, looking underneath Corey Rogers. Rogers going to give him plenty of room up off the corner. Gets a little bit tight there as Papini tries to make that car work down low. Meanwhile, Scotty Gardner right there as well in the 109. I think that's going to open the door for Alex Papini, and it looks like it does. And Alex Papini moves that number 39 machine back up onto the lead lap with 176 laps in, 125 to go. Getting closer to the end stages of this event. And a lot is still left to unfold. We're still at very different spots in the tire strategy. Considering we haven't seen a caution flag since lap 26, 150 laps we've been green. You gotta wonder if we're gonna see another one. Right now, these guys can make it on fuel till the end of the race. They don't have to come down for fuel, but tires are going to be the game. I think everybody should still have a set down in the pits, so if we were to get another caution, you're likely gonna see some drivers come down. But do we see some people stay out to try and save those tires for a later caution? It's gonna be very, very interesting to see the strategy throughout this event. Through turns 3 and 4 there, Corey Rogers battling with Scotty Gardner. Gardner trying to stay on the lead lap in the 109. Looks like Papini will take over the spot for now. Let's check in on your front 3 for our championship. Michael Ostiek currently still sitting in the 2nd spot. He's got 2 lap cars separating him. Sorry, 3 lap cars separating him and Tristan Swanson. With 120 laps to go. And with the way that this race has been unfolding, we've seen a lot of green flag laps here. You can't really count on a caution to get you back up next to that guy. Ostiek really wanting to get up to the back bumper of Tristan Swanson if he can. The lap times are looking in the favor of Ostiek right now. We look up our lap history from your top 3 in the championship right now. Looks like Swanson was able to run a little bit quicker that last time around, but still very close between your 3. We come across the line. Swanson once again a little bit quicker than Ostiek and Danta. Still 114 laps to go at the Five Flags Speedway. Still have 8 cars on the lead lap. Corey Rogers, your race leader, has a 1.8 second advantage over Nick Schumacher. He's really been able to open up this gap. We saw him have a full head of steam there towards the later stages of that run. But once the green flag came back out, or once that 17 machine got back out front, it was smooth sailing. He drove to the front. Your leader, Corey Rogers, right there on the back bumper of Alex Papini and Scotty Gardner. With those drivers trying to stay on the lead lap, especially if you are Alex Papini. Papini fighting for the All-Star Sim Series Championship here tonight. He has to stay on the lead lap if he wants a shot at it later on. You cannot put yourself one lap down here. Even with 110 laps to go, you have to give yourself time to drive that car back to the front. Through turns 3 and 4, Corey Rogers continues to put laps in the books here. And Scotty Gardner, Alex Papini have been able to sit right there in front of Corey Rogers without getting lapped, and I think they're going to continue to do that. They don't really have to push too hard at this point. They just kind of have to sit there and hope for a caution flag before that 17 machine gets around them. Rogers continuing to hold that race lead. Papini currently scored in the 7th spot. The battle for the championship goes to Tristan Swanson if the checkered flag were to fly right here. We still have 105 laps of action left to go. Swanson trying to pick up the Winter Series championship. He'd love to go back to victory lane. Hasn't been to victory lane since November. We are 2 laps away from the lap 200 mark here at the Five Flags Speedway, just about to the closing stages. We have only had 1 caution flag so far. We have been green from that moment. And Corey Rogers once again going to try to put Scotty Gardner a lap down here. Looks like Gardner going to be able to hang on for now. But the string definitely starting to get pretty thin there for Gardner. The gap under a car length, and there it is, lap 200 on the board. We'll have 100 to go when we get back around this time by. A very tight moment there. Couple lap cars on the back straightaway. Your leader had to split 3 wide, but all is all right. We still keep going. Rogers down low. Gardner up top. And Gardner able to use that outside lane. He'll stay on the lead lap. And when you're in that spot, when you're Scotty Gardner, all you can really do is just try to keep that 17 back behind you and keep him to the bottom side. If he gets to the outside, it might be game over. He might be able to hold you down, but if you keep that 17 down to the bottom, make him use that right front tire up, it's going to be a little bit harder for him to get past you. Luckily, the fog, I think, has rolled back out of the Five Flags Speedway. So hopefully everybody can see a little bit better. I know I can. So hopefully that translates to you guys as well. Trent Smith in the 3 machine gets around Nick Schumacher right there. Not for position. Schumacher currently still scored in that 2nd spot. About 6 seconds. 6 seconds behind Nick Schumacher. Apologies, folks. I just realized that my mic was muted. Don't know how long I was talking there without the mic on, but regardless, up front, Corey Rogers, your leader. As I was looking back through the pit laps and when everybody came back down pit road, I do have some uncertainties as to whether or not everybody's going to be able to make it to the end. We've got 90 laps to go right now. The driver in the 2nd spot, Nick Schumacher, he last came down pit road on lap 94, so it's been quite some time for the number 4 machine. It's been about 117 laps since he's brought it down pit road. Obviously, that's not too much right now, but once we get further and further into this one, you got to start to wonder if that 4 machine's going to have enough fuel to make it to the end. Back behind him, the battle for the championship. Tristan Swanson still holds, but Michael Ostick starting to creep up a little bit in the 4th spot. And Tristan Swanson going to move underneath Nick Schumacher. That's for the 2nd spot. So move Tristan Swanson into the 2nd position. He still holds that race lead, or championship lead, I should say. Back behind him, Michael Ostick going to try to get by that 11 machine of Randy Sargent and put nobody in between him and Tristan Swanson. Schumacher there up the racetrack in the 4 machine, and the tires might be starting to go away on that number 4 machine. You're really starting to see him fall off here on lap time. It has been 100 and some laps on those tires at this point. He was the first of the drivers to come down pit road when the pit stops began, and he is going to be the next. The number 4 machine of Nick Schumacher down pit road, and he decides it is time for that 2nd and final stop on lap 218. He brings it pit side. We'll see what the number 4 machine is able to do if he can recover. Swanson in the 91 on the bottom. Currently holding the 2nd spot. Back behind him is Michael Ostick. A little bit slower at this point in the going, but still 80 laps to go. Ryan Smith in the 50 machine brings that car down pit road. He was running a couple laps down. Anthony Donta right there in the 51, currently sitting third in the championship standings, fourth on the racetrack. Trying to find somewhere to go. And fourth in the standings for your championship. Alex Papini right now sitting in the 6th spot on track, right in front of your race leader, Corey Rogers. We'll see if Papini, running long on that green flag run earlier, helps him out any. Right now, a lot of time to make up for that number 39 if he wants a shot at the All-Star Sim Series Championship. Scotty Gardner right there in the 109 on the back bumper of Alex Papini. He's been able to keep that car out in front of race leader Corey Rogers. Keep himself on the lead lap. Rogers starting to lose a little bit of pace in the 17. And don't look now, folks, but here is the battle for the championship. 75 laps to go. The battle is on. Tristan Swanson, Michael Ostiek battling for the championship lead, and here comes Michael Ostiek to the bottom. They are 3 wide through turns 1 and 2. Ryan Smith, lap car up top, going to get up and out of the way, but Tristan Swanson is able to hang on into turns 3 and 4. Ostiek made a heck of a run right there through the center of turns 3 and 4 and into 1 and 2 to get that run to the bottom, but Tristan Swanson able to hang on the outside lane for now. And the battle for that championship here is hot with under 75 laps to go. Laps are running out here. And your race leader down pit road, Corey Rogers in the 17, brings that machine down pit road, and it is time for his final pit stop. That'll hand the lead over to Tristan Swanson here with just about 70 laps to go. 91 of Tristan Swanson right there on the outside lane, trying to keep Michael Ostiek at bay. Daniel Calhoun bringing the number 4 down pit road. And this time by, when they go through turns 3 and 4, they will come back to 70 laps to go. 70 to go for Tristan Swanson, under a lot of pressure here from Michael Ostiek. Through turns 1 and 2, Ostiek all over the back bumper. See the 91 right up there in front of him. Trying everything he can, nearly contact there up off the corner. Ostiek all over the back bumper. These two have battled all season long, trying to outdo the other here tonight. You see Ostiek try to enter the corner low right there, or high I should say, to get that run up off. Bumper to bumper into turns 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway they go. Big run for the 18 of Ostiek. He'll look to the inside. Swanson up the racetrack in the 91 side by side. Across the line that time. Swanson gonna hang on. Ostiek right there into the bottom, into the back bumper is the 18 of Michael Ostiek. Down the back straightaway they go. Swanson blocking the bottom lane, trying everything he can to keep that 18 at bay, and it looks like it'll hang on, or it'll pay off for now. Tristan Swanson with an aggressive move down the back straightaway to keep that 18 machine at bay. We'll see if Ostiek takes a liking to that. We've got 65 to go at the line. And Michael Ostiek going to take one more peek at it here. Looks to the bottom into turns 1 and 2. Ostique down low, Swanson up top, into turns 3 and 4. They battle down the back straightaway. It looks like that outside lane holding strong for Swanson. Michael Ostique down on the bottom, trying to make the shorter way around work, and oh, trouble right up in front of him. Wow, way to get on the binders, Tristan Swanson, Michael Ostique. Eric White. And oh, trouble for Alex Papini. Alex Papini in the number 39 machine. There was trouble after Eric White got back going. What happened to the number 6 machine? You see the contact. He got set in the back by the number 151, and you see your 2 race leaders go by. But what happened to the number 39 of Alex Papini? And it looked like White tried to get that car back up going, and there was nowhere for Papini to go. Tough break for the number 39 machine of Alex Papini. We'll watch that one more time. On board with him. Let's see what he saw. He's trying to get that car caught back up, and absolutely nowhere for the 39 machine to go. And that is a very tough break for a driver that was involved in the championship fight. Left side tires going up on that machine. Michael Ostique going to come out in front of Tristan Swanson, your race leader. And Alex Papini, unfortunately, gonna go a lap down here. Tough break for the 39 after running inside of the top 5, leading some laps at one point. Alex Papini going to be 1 lap down here with 60 laps to go. Not what he wanted to see. It will definitely not help his chances here as the drivers do the choose cone. And that's going to hand the race lead over to Scotty Gardner in the 109. Did not bring that car down pit road right here. Electing to stay out. We'll see if it helps him here. Through the restart zone they go, and we're back underway. Big crossover move there for Michael Ostique in the 18. He'll take a look to the inside lane. And down the back straightaway, the battle is for the lead. Michael Ostique down low. He's going to take that spot away. Scotty Gardner back to 3rd. Here comes Tristan Swanson, and this battle resumes. Michael Ostique, Tristan Swanson battling for that top spot here with just under 60 laps to go. Back behind them, Anthony Danta getting to the inside of Brett McCoy. And he'll try to make it a 3-car battle for the race lead and the championship lead. Michael Ostique currently hanging on to the race lead. It'll be 55 laps to go this time. 55 to go for Michael Ostique, trying to pick up the victory and the championship here in the All-Star Sim Series. He's got about a 2-3 car length advantage over Tristan Swanson. They were both nearly identical on the lap times that last time around, but we've still got 50 laps of action left to go. Which of these drivers can save their tires better? So we work lap 248. We look a little bit further back behind. Scotty Gardner in the 109 is dropped back to the end of this pack elected to stay out and not get tires that last caution flag. He has quickly gotten moved to 7th. And this time by, we see lap 250 up on the board. 250 laps in for Michael Ostiek. Tristan Swanson runs second. Anthony Danta third. That's your top three. We're going to take a quick step away here on the WD Broadcasting Network. You guys won't miss a thing, though. And as I say that, the caution flag flies. We're going to take a... Well, wait a second. There's a couple cars tangled up. Ryan Smith. Randy Sargent. We'll see what happened to the 50, and it looks like Randy Sargent down low in the 11. Oh, big time trouble. Sargent in the 11 down low. Got loose on the bottom of the racetrack and came back up across. Luckily, nobody else was collected, but nowhere for Ryan Smith to go, unfortunately. And that'll re-rack him and re-stack him here. We've got 48 laps to go here at the Five Flag Speedway. We're going to take one more quick step away on the WD Broadcasting Network before we wrap things up here in just a second. Alrighty, folks, we are doubled up here. These drivers have done the choose cone. We are doubled up with 45 laps to go. It's going to be a shootout here at the Five Flags Speedway. And for what could be the final time, the pace car makes the hard left turn down onto pit road, and through the restart zone they go. Nice and early start there for Michael Ostiek, and we are back underway. Good jump from the 18 machine of Michael Ostiek down into turns 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway they go. Ostiek going to have a good advantage heading into turns 3 and 4 for that third spot back behind him. Everybody able to get single filed out. Anthony Danta currently sitting in third. Scotty Gardner underneath Corey Rogers. Rogers was pretty quick earlier on. He's trying to move his way back forward. Scotty Gardner got a new set of tires on that 109 machine. He just set the fastest lap of the race in the 109. We'll see if he's got anything else left for your top two. As up front, 258 on the board out of 300. Michael Ostiek leads by just 0.2 of a second over Tristan Swanson. Back behind him, Anthony Danta has still got some speed left in that machine. He just set the fastest lap of the race. Does he have anything left to catch your top two competitors here as we approach 40 laps to go? Swanson all over the back bumper of Michael Ostiek as they see 40 laps to go this time. Big run for the number 91. Does he look to the inside? No. Ostiek in the 18 trying to do everything he can to defend, but here comes Tristan Swanson to the bottom. Ostiek down low, and Ostiek gets turned. Ostiek gets turned, and Tristan Swanson gonna take the lead. The caution flag flies. Michael Ostiek around in front of the field, and Tristan Swanson in the 91 will take the race lead. I think Ostik might have gotten the caution flag quick enough to keep the race lead, actually. He's back out front. Tristan Swanson bringing the 91 machine pit side. Tough break for your top two in the point standings, or in the championship. They tangle on the exit of turns 3 and 4. Tristan Swanson going to take a drive through there. And a tough break for Michael Ostik. He was leading this field with under 40 laps to go. And the caution flag is going to fly. We'll see where Ostik ends up stacking out. I think he might be able to stay inside of the top 5 here. Looks like he's going to line up 5th. But he is going to be reset here from that lead that he had. And the guy with the biggest smile on his face right now is that man right there, who takes over the race lead and the championship lead here with 37 laps to go. Anthony Danta looking like the favorite here. But Michael Ostik, Tristan Swanson, they're still right there. Keep in mind, we've only got 9 cars on the lead lap. So Tristan Swanson only back to 8th. But unfortunately, race control sending him to the rear of the line. That is going to set the 91 machine back quite a ways. So that is going to reline us up here. Lap 264. We're going to come back to 265 with a restart. Anthony Danta, Scotty Gardner leading us through the restart zone, and we're back underway with 35 to go here at 5 Flags. Don't look now, but here comes Alex Papini in the 39 machine. He's trying to move his way back forward. He's still up inside of the top 5 here. He gets around Michael Ostik there, trying to find a way underneath Corey Rogers. It looks like that machine not too poorly damaged after the contact with Eric White. And Papini going to move into the 4th spot, and he'll set his sights on your race leader, Anthony Danta. It's all or nothing here for Alex Papini, Michael Ostik. Inside of 40 laps to go. Scotty Gardner in the 109. He's going to take a peek to the bottom. Scotty Gardner in the 109 machine going to go through to the race lead here with under 40 laps remaining. Danta going to try to take that spot back, but look at Alex Papini. This is exactly what he wanted here. After that contact with Eric White, you thought the day might have been over for the 39. No, he is right back up inside of your top 5. Michael Ostik back behind under pressure from Trent Smith in the number 3. Looks like Smith going to take that spot. Move Michael Ostik back to the 6th spot here with 30 laps to go. Up front, your race leader, Scotty Gardner, sees lap 270. It'll be 30 laps to go for the 109 of Gardner, trying to pick up his first victory of the season. Back behind him, Michael Ostik starting to lose a little bit of that pace that we saw earlier on. He's back to the 7th spot now. Tristan Swanson right there, sitting in the 8th position. Swanson can look to the bottom. It looks like Swanson will take that spot, so move him back up to the 7th spot. Tough break for Michael Ostik here. Looks like the pace is starting to run out with about 28 laps to go. Scotty Gardner right now, your race leader out front. Doing a good job holding that 51 of Anthony Danta back behind him. Gardner leads 3 cars right there under a blanket. Alex Papini into the 39 machine back behind him, trying everything he can to get that car closer. Oh, and the caution flag flies. I believe there was trouble on the exit of turns 3 and 4. Ed Papineau in the number 01 machine, I believe, turned around the wrong way. Looks like going into the corner, Michael Ostiek, around he went. That was a strange spin there. Looked like the 18 might have lost. It looked like he lost a tire going into the corner. Not sure what happened. But you see the 18 already sideways, and definitely more sideways as he went into the corner. Not something obviously amiss on that race car. We'll watch it one more time, try to go on board with the number 18 machine. And we'll see if we can't go on board with Michael Ostiek here. Looks like going into the corner, just a little bit too much wheel. And around he went. And we'll re-rack him and restack him here with 25 laps to go. As Michael Ostiek down pit road in the 18 machine, he'll complete that final pit stop. And we're going to be inside of 25 laps to go. Your top two in the championship standings are Alex Papini and Anthony Danta right there. I don't think we can quite count out Tristan Swanson either. He's had a lot of speed in that 91. Unfortunately got caught up in that incident with Michael Ostiek. Swanson here with 24 laps to go. Back up into 7th. Gonna start with the field this time. And we'll see if he's able to do the unthinkable, to drive back up through. As the field completes their choose right there, Scotty Gardner gonna do the unthinkable. He'll take that outside lane. We'll see if that affects him. Into turns 3 and 4. Into the restart zone they go, and we're back underway. Good start there from Gardner on the outside lane, but a great start from Anthony Danta down low. Is he going to be able to do anything down the back straightaway? Here comes Alex Papini through the middle, 3 wide. Alex Papini trying to make something happen here. Through the center of the corner, and the caution flag flies. We're not quite done yet, folks. Not sure what happened there, but the caution flag flew as they were heading into turns 3 and 4. And what happened here? It looked like it was a battle of the 4 cars. Looks like Daniel Calhoun got into the back bumper of Nick Schumacher. And that was the cause of our yellow. But Anthony Danta going to take the race lead. How about Alex Papini in the 39 machine? Thought his race was done earlier on after the contact with Eric White, but Papini inside of the top 3 here. He had a full head of steam down the back straightaway that last restart. I'd be shocked if we don't see him think about 3 wide underneath Anthony Danta here with 19 laps to go. This is our 6th caution flag. We only had 1 caution flag up until about the lap 240 mark. Gardner in the 2nd spot was not able to get the advantage on that outside lane, and that'll hand the lead back over to Anthony Danta. Danta going to choose the bottom. Gardner going to choose the top. Papini going to choose the bottom. Tristan Swanson will move up top. Everybody doubled up down the back straightaway. We are going to send them back green with 17 laps to go. Your top two in the championship right there on the bottom lane. Anthony Donta, Alex Papini, Scotty Gardner up top. Through the restart zone they go, and we are back underway. Gardner in the 109 machine got a good jump there. Tried to guess where Anthony Donta was going to go. Looked like he might have went a little bit early, but he's going to hold that outside lane, and he'll try to battle here with 16 laps to go. 16 to go here at Five Flags. Your top two in the championship right there, bumper to bumper. Anthony Donta leading down the back straightaway. Alex Papini trying everything he can to get underneath Scotty Gardner. Gardner up top in the 109. They'll come back around to 15 laps to go. 15 to go this time. Anthony Donta trying to hang on for the race win and the championship, but he's got Alex Papini and Tristan Swanson both right back there behind him. And into turns 3 and 4, Swanson put the bumper to the 17 of Corey Rogers right there. He'll move up to the outside lane. Can he make that pass work? And through turns 1 and 2, Gardner continuing to battle with Alex Papini, and this is exactly what Anthony Donta wants to see back behind him. Donta just set the fastest lap of the race. Papini able to get that spot. He'll move back to the back bumper of Scotty Gardner. Gardner going to take the spot back, but Papini to the bumper says, hey man, I need this spot. I'm fighting for a championship. And Papini going to have to give way for now. Scotty Gardner hanging on to the second spot back behind him, and the caution flag flies. Ryan Smith in the 50 machine, turned the wrong way. Steve Wright also out back behind. We'll see what happened. They were battling for the 12th spot, and it looked like there was just some contact there in the center of the corner. Didn't quite see how that one came to be. On board back behind the number 50 of Ryan Smith. Looked like the 61 of Steve Wright just kind of came up the track a little bit there. Got a little tight down on the bottom. And let's see what happens with this choose cone, because Anthony Donta, your leader, has got a big decision to make. Who does he want behind him? Alex Papini or Tristan Swanson? Likely you'll see Scotty Gardner choose the opposite lane. But where will Alex Papini and Tristan Swanson go here? As we are going to send them back green inside of 10 laps to go. Looks like we will choose next time around. And we'll find out where these drivers want to go. If it was me, I would probably have to take that inside lane. You don't want somebody to your inside going into turns 1 and 2. That you don't want to give that guy the opportunity to move you up the track, give you a door, whatever it may be. I would always want to put myself in that inside lane unless I know for sure I can be clear going into 1. But even then, I'd still probably have to choose the bottom. So we'll see what Anthony Donta here does and how everybody else behind him follows. Looks like Papini going to go to the bottom and Swanson going to go to the top. So your front 4 line up where we thought they'd be. And it'll be Anthony Donta, Scotty Gardner, Alex Papini, and Tristan Swanson. Your top 4 leading us back to green. We'll have 7 laps to go when they get back to the line. Pace car makes a hard left turn down onto pit road, and through the restart zone they go. We're back underway. 7 lap shootout here at Five Flags. Into turns 1 and 2. Papini into the back bumper of Donta. They're sideways, battling down the back straightaway. Papini and Donta still side by side. Donta to the bottom. And what just happened? They're beating and banging through the center of the corner. Not happy is Anthony Donta and Alex Papini. They're still hitting after the checkered or after the line, I should say. And what happens now? Your top 3 all wreck. Minus Scotty Gardner. Tristan Swanson was sideways. We'll watch the contact. Alex Papini into the back bumper of Anthony Donta. And then down the back straightaway they go. You see Tristan Swanson. And watch Alex Papini. All the way to the bottom goes Anthony Donta. And there's more contact. Tempers are flaring here inside of 5 laps to go. You knew there was an opportunity for things to get hot. And hot they have gotten. We'll watch this one more time. We'll try to get it from the chopper view so we can get a good idea of what all happened. You see the 51 go sideways. And unfortunately, Michael Ostiek involved as well down the backstretch. Tristan Swanson also involved. Alex Papini bringing the 39 down pit road. Donta down pit road as well. And Tristan Swanson is going to be the guy with the race lead. He currently only sits in the 6th spot, though. But it looks like we're going to be coming back to a green-white checkered finish. Unfortunately, Anthony Donta a couple laps down. Alex Papini also going a lap down. Michael Ostiek involved in that one, a lap down. So with 2 laps to go, I think we can go ahead and call Tristan Swanson your 2024-2025 All-Star Sim Series Winter Series champion. But now, who wins the race? Through the restart zone, 2 laps to go. Green-white checkered finish. Scotty Gardner leads. The green flag is back out here. We've got 2 final laps to go. Scotty Gardner with a big advantage down the back straightaway. And into turns 3 and 4 they go. If they make it back to the white, it is official. White flag is out. 1 more lap to go for Scotty Gardner. Scotty Gardner down into turns 1 and 2, trying to pick up his first victory of the season. He's 5th in the point standings. And into turns 3 and 4, he's going to come around number 4 and pick up win number 1 on the season. Scotty Gardner wins the season finale at 5 flags. Tristan Swanson comes home in the 4th spot, and that is going to be good enough for the championship here tonight. Tristan Swanson is your 2024-2025 All-Star Sim Winter Series champion. And the 109 of Scotty Gardner and Tristan Swanson going to bring it up on the front straightaway and burn it down here after a amazing 300 laps. Scotty Gardner comes home victorious, and Tristan Swanson walks away the points champion. We're going to try to grab a word from our points champion, Tristan Swanson. As Swanson burns it down, Corey Rogers comes home 2nd in the 17. Scotty Gardner comes home with the victory. Tristan Swanson comes home with the championship. And now we will grab a word from our champion here tonight. Up into the broadcast booth, Tristan Swanson, do you have a copy?
I do, gotcha, yeah.
Alrighty, well, a crazy turn of events there. Things were pretty tame the most of the race up until about 45, 50 laps to go. Caution came out. You guys all got re-racked, restacked. You guys were all up inside of a top 5, I'd say. And You got into the back bumper of Michael Ostiek. You guys both ended up going to the rear. We thought the chances might have been over. Alex Papini and Anthony Danta started a battle for the championship. And then, all of a sudden, they wreck in front of you, and you're able to slide through after a little bit of contact with Michael Ostiek. You're able to slide through into the championship lead. Tell me about those final 20 laps.
Yeah, it was just kind of a stay calm, and we knew it was gonna get excited at the end there, especially them couple yells that we were getting. So it was definitely just reminding my spotter Danny Mann did an awesome job. Ty Fredrickson also joining in, spotting for me, helping me out. So it was they all did a good job keeping me calm, and it was a fun race in the end.
Yeah, definitely a pretty exciting finish to, honestly, a pretty exciting race. There was a lot of lead changes, a lot of action all race long. And ultimately, you were able to pick up the championship here in the All-Star Sim Winter Series. So who do you have to thank, Tristan, for a good run this season and ultimately the championship when it's all said and done?
Yeah, for sure. Just got to thank Alex Papini and Brett McCoy for sure for putting this awesome league together. It gets to be a long winter up here in the Midwest with the racing off season, so it's fun to be able to come and join and do a little bit of virtual racing with a bunch of guys that we know. So big thanks to them, but also got to thank and give a huge shout out to Elite Performance Industries, Justin Brooks Designs, High Velocity Screenshots, and of course my fiance for allowing me to do this every week. So yeah, it was a fun winter for sure.
Yeah, it was definitely a fun one this season. I only got to tag in for the this last little race, but from what I could tell, it looked like it would have been a fun season. But nonetheless, congratulations to you, Tristan, on a 4th place run here tonight. It was good enough for your, could be first, I don't know the history or the lore on this quite yet, but on a All-Star Sim Series championship.
Yeah, thank you so much, and we're looking forward to having you with us next winter.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a lot of fun. I got that text message earlier today. I'm pretty excited about it. Can't wait to see what we can do there. But nonetheless, one more time, congratulations to you, Tristan, on your championship.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Alrighty, folks, that was your champion here tonight, Tristan Swanson. I don't believe I see Scotty Gardner anywhere in voice chat, so I don't think we're going to grab a word from our winner, but nonetheless, a crazy turn of events there at the end. It got exciting, that is for sure. We'll run through our finishing results here at the end. Up on screen, your winner, like we said, Scotty Gardner picking up his first win of the season in the finale. Corey Rogers comes home second. Third, it was Trent Smith in the number 3. Tristan Swanson, we just talked to, comes home 4th. Brett McCoy 5th in the number 1. Josh Nelms 6th in the 12 machine. Ed Papineau comes home 7th in the 0-1. Alex Papini, tough break, finishes in the 8th spot here tonight. Daniel Calhoun in the number 0-4 finishes 9th. Kurt Clevin 10th. Anthony Danta, after what we thought was going to be a championship run in those final 10 laps, ends up finishing 11th in the 51. Nick Schumacher in the 4 finishes 12th. Jared Sutherland finishes 13th. Michael Ostiek 14th. Steve Wright comes home in the 15th spot. Ryan Smith 16th back behind him. Scott King Swan comes home 17th. Kenny Storkson in the 18th spot. Randy Sargent comes home 19th. Eric White rounds out your top 20. And back behind him, rounding out our field, is Blake Notstad, Robert Addington, and DJ Smith. So that is going to do it for us here tonight, folks. I thank you guys for tuning into the WD Broadcasting Network. I think we got a pretty good view count here tonight, so thank you to each and every one of you that tuned in, especially to this point. If you guys enjoyed what you saw and want to see more, hit that red subscribe button, hit the like button. And I think that is going to do it for us here tonight. If you guys want to see more of the WD Broadcasting Network, follow us on Facebook. Follow the Leave the Pack iRacing League on Facebook as well. That's our other league that we broadcast here. But I think that's all I've got. One more time, thank you guys for watching and taking time out of your Monday night. But I am your host, Winston Deal from the WD Broadcasting Network. signing it off, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace out.